All right, let's roll on to Isaiah Joe. Isaiah Joe played 4 games, 14 points a game, 37.5% from three, 10 attempts per game, 3.3 assists per game. He had a plus minus of 13. He flashed some improved playmaking and ball handling skills, speaking to that 3.3 assists per game, especially when Tyrese Maxey went down. Or no, he didn't go down. He left. He struggled a little bit from the mid-range, but at the end of the day, Isaiah Joe's here to stretch the floor and make threes. I give him an A- plus. We're going to lead it off with Justin. What was your grade on Isaiah Joe and overall takeaways from Isaiah Joe? Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna go B plus as well. I think overall he definitely looked good in his role. He was where he needed to be. The only thing that I was a little discouraged about at points was that he was just like streaky at times shooting, but I feel like that's been Isaiah Joe mostly. I'm interested to see that if on a short amount of shots he can get better at making them on a more consistent basis, because I think that's going to be his role on this Sixers team. And like he needs to be able to hit the corner three on a consistent basis and hit the wing three on a consistent basis on a short amount of shots, because he's not going to be getting the same amount of shots that a Danny Green or a Seth Curry is going to be getting. That the one thing Furkan Korkmaz has done a decent job with, mostly for the Sixers, is coming off the bench and being able to hit shots on a consistent basis from coming off bench cold. If he can do that, then he is a very good shot that he can take some of Furkan's minutes away. But if not, then he's going to struggle.
We're going to get into that. Austin, what was your grade on Isaiah Joe this summer league?
I would say probably a B plus. The shooting was what you kind of expected. I mean, he added a little bit of the off the dribble and the step back and sort of just the space creation part of it, which is huge. But I think the thing to me that really stood out is they list him at 6'3" or something like that, 6'3.5", whatever. He's not a point guard, although he did play some in high school. But I think he has this sort of we were out of options point guard play to him. You can kind of trust a little bit, in the sense that he can create a little bit off the dribble. He can make a little bit. There were a couple of occasions where they used double drag, or they ran similar sets, and he would thread the needle for a pass to Paul Reed on a dive, and he just looked like a capable passer and playmaker. And I think that's something that's a valuable tool to have, even if you're not thinking about him as a premier playmaker or guy off the dribble. I think he is someone where okay, we're in foul trouble here, where guy rolled an ankle there, who do we go to? And then maybe Doc finds it in him to play a young guy for once.
What about you, Tiago?
Or play him over Shake Milton, right? It was probably the same level playmaker.
Hey, I can't believe we didn't even talk about this. Did anybody have a mental health status check on Austin during this entire summer league? Because Jordan Nwora went completely off.
Did he?
Oh my God!
20% from three.
He was one of the leading scorers in the entire league.
Yeah, and that was Austin's boy during 2 years ago during our NBA draft.
I just picked the winners. That's all I did.
Here's the real question. How many years has he been in the league now?
One.
This is coming into his second year, and
is he? I thought he was older than that for some reason.
Yeah. All right, Tiago.
Everyone told me he's too slow. He doesn't defend. I was like, trust the shot. And lo and behold, the guy is freaking Klay Thompson out there.
Oh man,
is he? Because I think he's shooting.
Jordan Nwora is the next Klay Thompson for TPL shot dunk.
Can we quote that? And can we quote that and put that up on Austin's Twitter, please? Can we please quote that?
No, that's not.
We actually should quote that from the TPL account and be he's the next Klay Thompson.
Oh my God! I'm doing it right now.
I don't know if you looked at his shooting numbers. He might have gotten the volume, but he shot 20% from three.
That's fugazi. That doesn't matter to me.
No, it doesn't matter.
So what's Austin? Yeah, so what's the quote? Austin, what's the quote? Jordan Nwora.
Jordan Nwora is the next Klay Thompson.
Is the next
Let's
Klay
not
Thompson.
put that out there. Tiago, what's your
Per
grade?
Austin Crow.
Let's not put that out there.
Tiago, what's your take on Isaiah Joe?
Isaiah Joe?
What's your grade?
On Jordan Nwora is like a D-. I mean, all the stuff they talked about with Isaiah Joe, so the passing was something that for me stood out right away. I mean, that level of playmaking that we saw from him, orchestrating pick and roll, makes me wonder if he is a better option than Shake Milton, because he has kind of the shooting pedigree that Shake doesn't really have in the NBA. I mean, I know that Shake had a kind of a hot year 2 years ago, but Shake is just not that confident.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Did anybody see that coming from Isaiah Joe?
That was what I was talking about.
Yeah, I mean, Shake can't make that pass, dude. I'm sorry. So if you're gonna have a guy to run pick and roll with a second unit, why not Joe? Why Shake Milton? So
The only thing I would wonder with that is he capable of dribbling through traffic as like at a high level during the NBA regular season?
but here's
you
the
know,
thing,
like-
Justin. Like that what we saw from Shake, yeah, he does it, but it's not a consistent.
Oh no,
Like-
no, I'm not saying Shake does it well. I'm just asking if we think Isaiah Joe could do it
Not
better.
ready. He's not ready.
He's probably not ready, but he brings you the shooting element that you need around Embiid, and if Ben is going to be here, around Ben. So Shake is just not that shooter right now. He may not be that shooter ever. So anyway,
I think the shooting element Tiago's referring to is like the guy comes out and just pumps in 10 threes. Just like maybe only 4 or 5 of them go in, but he's just letting it fly whenever he touches the ball. And that gravity is important.
not
It
only
is.
that, so
I mean,
a couple
but-
things. So just a couple things on that. So one of the things that we saw in the summer league was Joe was doing more relocation shooting. So he was coming off screens and shooting off relocation. And then second of all is Joe has like a 4-point range that Shake Milton does not have. So that extends the defense even further out. And those are two very valuable traits. So that's why I posed the question, because if you're just going to run standard pick and roll with Shake Milton, just have Joe do that, and it gives you a lot more offensively, I think. So anyways, I think that my grade is A-, and I thought he handled himself very well. I thought he looked a little bit stronger, more chiseled too, which, something I always worried about his game. He's kind of frail and doesn't handle physicality real well. So we'll see. But I was very happy with his improvements in the summer league, and thankfully he didn't hurt his knee seriously, because that looked pretty bad there in the last game.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like eye-opening, he was my number 2. I just put out a post for thepaintedlines.com, and I ranked my top 5 stars for the summer league, and Isaiah Joe is my number 2, considering the playmaking. Like, I expected Tyrese Maxey to shoot 14 of 19 around the rim. I expected him to be just lights out, a microwave scorer, and lead the summer league in scoring. Isaiah Joe definitely has a lot more skill than I expected heading into this, and he's definitely, got something there that we're going to talk about now, and that is Furkan Korkmaz. Let's start off. Let's do this. 0 out of 10. 0 being no chance. 10 being 100% going to happen. What is the likelihood that Isaiah Joe takes Furkan Korkmaz's minutes next season? You look at how the Sixers really struggled with the Atlanta Hawks length last year. This is I think Isaiah Joe definitely. It wasn't always pretty, but he definitely flashed an ability to contest shots on the perimeter, especially on closeouts. So let's lead off with Tiago. 0 out of 10. Does Isaiah Joe have a chance to take minutes away from Furkan next year?
Based on what I think Doc will do, like a 2. I don't think he can play Isaiah. I mean, I'm being honest, man.
Not very high on Doc Rivers here.
It's not. It's. So I mean, we watched these games, man. I mean, Joe should have been playing last year. Why didn't he play last year? Anyways, the point is, again, I don't think he's gonna take Cork's minutes, and I don't think he should take Cork's minutes. I think they can play them together, pair them on the court at the same time, and I think the guy who should lose some minutes is Shake Milton. So I think you can work that out and have a lot of shooting out on the court, is what you really want, man. So,
what about you, Justin?
So for me, I think it's about a 5. Honestly, I think there is a chance, but to me, it almost goes more between, because I think if Tyrese Maxey's the 6th man that I think we all assume that he's probably going to be coming into the season, then I think the minutes at shooting guard and small forward are going to be fought between Isaiah Joe, Furkan Korkmaz, and Shake Milton. I think it's really a 3-man race. So it's like, I think it's going to come down to, and we saw it all season, where Furkan was playing more at times, Shake Milton was playing more at times because of shooting and stuff like that. So I think it's really going to come down to who's shooting better and who's being more consistent when coming cold off the bench. Like the point I was making earlier, if Isaiah is the best guy coming off the bench and he can be consistent in that way, like Furkan is at times, then I think he can take his minutes, because I think ultimately Isaiah Joe will probably be a better defender than Furkan will be. But if Shake is shooting better than Isaiah Joe is, then Isaiah probably won't get minutes, and vice versa. So it's just, I think it is more of a 3-man race than just a 2-man race.
I can't stress enough the importance of that 10 3-point shots per game, like he did in this summer league. You know, I can't get out of the thought in my head that the Sixers were second worst in the playoffs in 3-pointers attempted per game, second worst to the Washington Wizards, who the Sixers knocked out in the first round. They were dead worst. So the fact that you have a gravity guy that can truly stretch a defense, there is something to be said there.
Chris, I mean, Joel Embiid can have another MVP type season ×2, and they're not going to be a top 5 offense if they don't shoot more 3-pointers.
Yeah.
Period. I mean, that's simple math.
I fully agree. Yeah.
And Shake is not that player. Isaiah Joe is. So the math is there in front of them. It's just a matter if they want to go by it or not.
What about you, Austin? What was your 0 out of 10? 10 being super confident, 0 being no chance. What is your best guess that Isaiah Joe takes minutes away from Furkan Korkmaz this season?
So here's the thing. What's so great about the Korkmaz contract that they just signed him to?
It's cheap.
Kind of. What's the other great thing?
It's tradable.
Yeah.
There we go. It's tradable. So what does that mean? It means that if Daryl Morey thinks he can, scrape a first-round pick for Furkan Korkmaz, or if that's something that appeals to a team that was looking to be part of the deal, I think that's something that they're going to try to, hopefully they're going to try to catch a Furkan hot streak early in the season, and use that in trades. And if that doesn't appeal, then maybe the team is interested in Isaiah Joe. I think a lot of their decisions and this contingency stuff is on what is on the Ben situation. Everything's going to clear up once the Ben situation is resolved. So while I think the likelihood is that they're going to probably stick with the guys that have more tradable contracts in the early going, I still think that down the line, ultimately, if we're going to be trying to guess this stuff, wouldn't surprise me if maybe Joe is playing at least as many minutes as Furkan Korkmaz. I'll tell you this, and I'm not even joking here. I do think that Isaiah Joe is probably a better player than Furkan Korkmaz right now.